So before we start, quick disclaimer, everything I say in this show is all me. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Strictly my opinion, which I like to stay very neutral anyways with everything I do. I weigh out the pros and cons. I know what I feel, and I'm definitely not going to be pushing my opinion on anybody. Straight facts and straight information research that I have done. Okay, guys? I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Okanagan Real Estate Show. My name is Marika Soleil. I've been a realtor for 16 years working with CIR Realty here in Kelowna. And today we're going to talk about the federal election, which is happening on September 20th, and what the parties' platforms are regarding the Canadian housing crisis, which it is a housing crisis. We have absolutely no supply that's affordable for the demand that's out there. And, you know, it's a little bit heartbreaking. So this is important to me, and I think it's important for everybody. As much as we are worried about COVID and vaccines and anti-vaxxers and businesses and everything else, yes, that's very, very important. But this is also very important because, you know, housing is a huge part of our economy. It's a huge part of our lives. I mean, having a home to live in and being able to afford something, get into the real estate market is very, very important. So today I'm going to talk about the housing platforms. We've got the Liberals, the Conservatives, and the NDP, which have all three given us an idea of what they plan to do. So we're going to dive right into that. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. There's different components of the channel. There's this show, there's also tips, and we're going to be doing some stuff with the Kelowna Shoebox Project because, as some of you may know, that's the charity I run here. I'm the lead coordinator, and we're ramping up. We're doing some really fun things. So we're going to do some unboxing of the shoeboxes and other fun things like that. All right, so let's get back to the Liberals. Here are some of the main points of their housing plan for if they get elected. So number one, they want to ban blind bidding. So I'm going to explain this a little bit because when I first heard of it, it wasn't explained to me properly. And right away I thought, oh no, what's going on here? Are we not going to have multiple offers anymore? Like, how is this going to work? So basically, we are going to have multiple offers, but all the offers are going to be completely transparent to every party involved. Now, this is part of protecting the homeowners and consumers by not allowing prices to be inflated by hundreds of thousands of dollars because we don't know what the other bids are. So people are going to bid what they can afford, but they're not going to overbid. So that's the whole blind bidding, banning the blind bidding. It's more about transparency and not overinflating pricing. Okay, so number two is foreign buyers. So the Liberals are proposing to completely not let foreign buyers purchase property here in Canada for the next 2 years. Now, the Conservatives have a similar idea. They are also banning foreign investment for the next 2 years, but they will allow commercial foreign investment. So this is only applicable to residential property and single owners, not companies, okay? Another thing is to reduce insurance costs. So CMHC insurance costs. The Liberals want to reduce that by 25%, making it a little bit more affordable for people to get into the market, okay? So they also have a housing acceleration plan, and this is for cities. So basically they're going to be giving funding to cities to be able to produce and build $4 billion of homes up to 2025. So that's $4 billion allotted to Canadian cities to help them build homes for people that do not have any housing. Now, another thing that I really, really like, actually, with the Liberal proposition is being able to have a legal right to a home inspection. We're seeing offers come in with no clauses, no inspection, no financing. It's very, very risky. Being able to legally get an inspection on the home you're purchasing is a huge thing for consumers, and I completely agree with it. So two other things that the Liberals are proposing is an anti-flipping tax, which I'm not going to get too detailed about, and also a TFSA for down payment for people trying to get into the real estate market. They're also going to have a rent to own program that's going to try to get people into the real estate market. So in a nutshell, I think the biggest takeaway from this is, of course, banning the blind bidding, having a legal right to inspection, and throwing that $4 billion into Canadian cities to increase their housing capabilities. Okay, so let's talk about the Conservatives. So basically, they're going to use about 15% of their tax revenues for real estate, whatever that requires, giving it to our provinces, giving it to our cities, allowing for us to build more affordable housing. Okay, so that's 15% of the total tax. Okay, another cool idea the Conservatives have is to tie in real estate with upgrades in transit. So a lot of people commute by transit, and having that transit hub, which is, which has money poured into it, and having housing around there that is also going to contribute, is actually a pretty good idea. I think being able to access both affordable housing and transit is definitely beneficial for everybody in Canada. Okay. So they are also promoting, the Conservatives are also promoting 7 to 10 year mortgages. Okay, so now compared to the NDP, who's wanting to bring back 30-year mortgages, 7 to 10 year mortgages, it's going to be paid off quicker and you're going to be paying less interest. Is it feasible? I don't know. I would have to run some numbers. The Conservatives are also wanting to change the stress test to make it easier for people to qualify. Okay. Now back to the foreign buyers. Again, the Conservatives are banning foreign buyer investment for the next 2 years, but only residential investment, not commercial investment. So companies can still buy into our market, purchase big buildings, do whatever they want with them. The NDP is also proposing a $5,000 subsidy for renters. So we know rents have gone up just as much as home sales have. So it's very important to support our rental community as it is our homeowners and home purchasers. Okay, let's do a little recap here. So the Liberals are planning on building 1.4 million homes in the next 4 years. Now this is affordable housing, okay? Conservatives want to build 1 million homes in 3 years. That's the goal. And the NDP have a much higher focus on the rentals and people that are renting and renters in general. And they're looking to build 500,000 homes in the next 10 years. So, those are some big numbers, and I think there's some big promises. And of course, remember, this is just a proposition. A lot of these things might not happen. There's been a lot proposed in, the election that happened a few years ago by the Liberals that has not happened. So I wanted to talk a little bit about money laundering. And whenever we do a real estate deal, we have these forms, and they're regulated by FinTrack. And it's an identification system where we go through people's IDs, we figure out what they're doing, where they're from, what they're using their property for, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is very important in our real estate market because we want to know where the money is coming from. So this is definitely part of all three parties' platforms this up and coming election. So the Liberals are actually wanting to put a little bit more focus on the financial crimes and, have more people assigned to, for instance, proceeds of crime situations, and as well as terrorist financing. So, you don't think of these things, but they are prevalent in our society, and these things do happen. And whether it is from foreign people or whether it's within Canada, who knows? But it does go on. So I think that's great. We want to know where the money's coming from and making sure that it's not from the proceeds of crime. That money could definitely be used for other things. That money could definitely be used for other initiatives like social initiatives, charities, et cetera, et cetera. There's, so many things that could be used for, and affordable housing for those that can't afford to live the lifestyle that they want to live. Okay. So the NDP is also interested in something like this, and they're going to be thinking about doing a beneficial ownership registry. So basically this is another transparency where it tells you who owns what's being owned by who, this kind of thing. So more transparency again. I think it's definitely a great idea. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this contradiction that I am seeing in building all these homes. So there's a few things that is going on here. First of all three parties are committed to building, from 1.4 to a million to 500,000 homes for the next few years. Okay. Yes, that's going to definitely increase supply, which is what we need. Fantastic. But at the same time, they're offering incentives. For instance, incentives on first-time home buyers, giving them extra opportunity and boosting the demand of our economy. So yeah, at the same time, we're building more housing, but we're also giving people more chances or more ability to purchase. So it's kind of a contradiction. I mean, I can see where it would have to be tweaked a little bit, because we don't want to be adding property to our market and then also enticing more and more buyers to purchase by giving them deals or giving them money or giving them rebates or giving them credits, tax credits, all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to say, this is my 2 cents. Everything that I say on this show is all me. I do my research. I like to read and do research. I'm really excited for this election. I know a lot of people are not. Obviously, there's going to be issues with people that are not vaccinating wanting to go vote. I think today might be the last day. Or August 31st is the last day. So that's going to be interesting to see how it rolls out. And hopefully I have some more news on what's going to actually happen to our housing situation in Canada next week or in the next couple weeks. And I really, really encourage you guys to go out there and vote. Look at the pros and cons, figure out what you need. I know we're all in a different area of our lives, but think about the young people that are coming into the market and the affordable housing. The last thing you want is a mom with 3 kids, single mom, not having a place to live that's sufficient for her family. And that hits me home. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to go show some property and hopefully win some offers for my clients. And I'll see you guys next week.